We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs. Riddle me this, Batman. If you get out of a shower clean, then how does your towel get dirty?
These are the questions that keep me up at night.
I mean,
Let us know down below. And in the meantime, while you ponder that thought, maybe next time you're in the shower, let's talk about Nebraska's team preview for the 2025-26 NCAA wrestling season. I wrote 24 and 25. You guys can see my screen, right?
I can.
yes, we
Yeah,
can.
I'm gonna do 2025 and 2026. Moving ahead. So I posted Nebraska's team from last year. This is incorrect. Silas Allred took
Yeah,
seventh
so he was
place,
an
not Rabbit
All-American. I
12.
was about to say, I didn't want to.
Yeah. So they had 8 All-Americans, record high team, second place finish at NCAAs, 9 NCAA qualifiers, and we're gonna go through the 2026 lineup. I'm gonna either put a green or red or yellow on if you think that their team is
Better, worse.
better, worse, or the same going into next season. So starting at 125, Caleb Smith is now gone. He will be replaced by either Cale Lorsden or Alan Colher. Do you guys have
Well,
any insight as to who it might be?
I think this one's a little like it's just tough with this one because you're comparing a redshirt versus like or are they sophomore? I'm not sure, but either way, an underclassman to an All-American, so it's always going to be tough then. But
Well, which
I'm
one
just looking
is the
at
one that beat Caleb Smith in the wrestle-off? Whichever one of them beat Smith in
Yeah,
the wrestle-off,
Lorsden won 8-7.
Yeah.
okay,
he's the one that I think is going to be the one taking this spot. If he's capable of beating Caleb Smith, I think he's capable of beating his other teammate.
yeah. I mean,
Hey, maybe if
it's just tough because when you look at it on paper, I mean, all on paper, I mean, what does that mean? But on
well,
paper,
I mean, on paper, if you had Camacho and Vin Robinson,
yeah, I know
Camacho was
exactly.
the guy that like made sense and was the better accoladed guy going into the season, and then Robinson majored two guys that majored Camacho. So like, who's to say how Lordston would have done this season had he been the starter instead of Smith?
Well,
Well, I
that's
guess comparing the two, wouldn't it be we'd have to say it'd be slightly disadvantaged just because they did have an All-American and now they're going with
I guess
someone.
the question is, do you think that either of these guys, but let's just say Lorsden, do you think that he'll take seventh place or higher? And
yes.
I think no.
Okay. I think
You said
don't
yes?
think he takes seventh?
I think
Wait.
he'll be better than Caleb Smith.
What? Come on.
So-
He was 5-4 last year
I know, but
in his redshirt year.
you know, so
He lost to Nicolas Rivera 8-2. He lost to Kyson Terrakina for 5-1. And Brady Roark of South Dakota
He's
State
changing his mind
5-3.
now. He's changing his mind.
it's still like I want to give some background into the match with him and Caleb Smith.
Okay.
So for starters, Smith was cramping during the warmups, and they weren't sure he was even going to be able to wrestle. I think he had a hard time with the weight cut. But even like Huskers, Corn Nation that they use for their information, they talked about, there's an example where the winner doesn't necessarily become the starter because Smith is a senior leader on the team. He's returning All-American. Lorton has a red shirt. But if he's, as a true freshman, competitive enough with a returning multiple time All-American, it stands to reason that after a redshirt year, even if his redshirt year wasn't amazing, he could make the jump to at least match what the guy that he already beat did.
Yeah, but it's always different when you wrestle your teammate.
I think it's harder, actually. And I would say that, look at some of the wrestle-offs we've seen from Kurt McHenry versus Luke Little, how close that match was. And Luke took third. Kurt McHenry probably wouldn't have even podiumed.
Right. So what you're saying is Kurt
That
McHenry is going to
Hardcore.
beat Cale Lordston this year because he just transferred to Cal
Cal
Baptist.
Baptist.
Right.
but I think that it's tougher to beat your teammate. And so the fact that he's able to do it just shows that he can be that guy.
I think that's a wild prediction. I don't see it at all. So we
Let's
got
see.
one for down, one for up. Mike and Eamon, what do you guys say?
Mike, you want to go first?
I don't think he'll do better than 7th. I think he has I think this year he has a ceiling of 7th. Like I don't know that he'll even get that high. Maybe. I think he'll qualify for nationals. At the moment, I don't know that I think 7th is definitely his ceiling.
Okay, and Eamon.
Well, I just was doing a little background. You're definitely right. On paper, Lorson is actually the better one. I was just looking at Allen's like quality of wins in there. Yeah. Lorson is definitely, on paper better, but um I I'd say I'd say I I'd say he's an NCAA qualifier type level. So I guess I agree with Mike, but I don't think I don't like him AAing is like I don't know. I'm not certain about that.
Okay, I'm putting that as red. So yeah, I mean, I think he'll probably score some team points at nationals, but it won't be like all American level. So one in the red, and for Nebraska team preview, red is bad.
But they love red.
Yeah. Okay,
GBR, go Big Red.
133. And drop a comment down below. How do you think Cale Lordston or Alan Kohler is going to do for the upcoming season? 133. It's the same guy. The question is, can Jacob Van D outdo himself from last year? I think it really depends on the competition in the field. And I
Yes.
think the field has actually gotten a lot harder.
Yeah,
I
I
was gonna
don't think
say
he can do any better than like 7th in my
the
opinion.
only person that graduated from the All Americans was Connor McGonigal. There's
Yeah,
a lot of returning talent, and some of the incoming talent is better for sure.
I just don't see it. So that's a red for me. Like, or I guess stays the same.
You got Ryan Crookham coming back.
Yep.
You got P- Penn State, either Braden Davis or Marcus Blaze or Ono.
Mhm.
I mean, you got Ben DeVino potentially,
I
or
Logan
Nick
know.
Miller, Drake
Bouzakis.
Ayala.
Yeah, it's just
Richie
no.
Figs is going to be up at Oklahoma State, 133. Um, what's going on with Aaron Nagao, by the way?
Good question. He might be, the way it seems, I think he might be 41 and Blaze will go 33. But we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the Penn
Dylan
State.
Zach Romney
Ragusin,
still?
Dylan Ragusin has another year
Zach Romney too,
somehow.
right?
Is that
Seth.
Yeah, Seth
Romney?
Romney. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm just talking. Some of these guys didn't even compete
Yeah,
last year
like
at
with
this weight class, and
Jacob
they're
Van D,
entering.
it's like he could either get 7th or I could see him honestly like maybe not even making the podium.
I mean, Van D's the type of guy that gets like big wins and then
Yeah, and
huge
it's just
losses.
Yeah, he had
I don't
11.
know.
He had 11 losses last year.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I could definitely see him getting 7th, but like I could also see him maybe like not podium making the podium.
I think even though it's the same guy, I don't think Van D is going to do as good as seventh. So I'm going to say this is actually a regression.
A
I
regression.
think just I agree the field is tougher. Um, I wonder if
I mean,
Kyler Larkin can go down to 40 if he's gonna go 41 or 33. And I don't think he can make
We're
33.
saying a regression for Van D.
I
Yes.
wasn't expecting Van D to All-American this past year.
No. Well, I was surprised when he beat Davis. I was like, oh, like he could be pretty good this year.
Yeah, he's got
And
some talent, but
I don't think a lot of people expected Davis to be an All-American, let alone, top five.
True.
yeah.
So that was a big win for him.
I mean,
But
I thought Davis was gonna AA, to be fair. You guys were hard on Davis, but like
yeah,
I did think he was gonna make
look,
podium.
he's got clear faults in his game. He can't escape from bottom against the police.
Yeah,
Can't get takedowns in neutral against police. Can't defend takedowns in neutral against police. He's got clear issues in his that you got to work on.
yeah.
Okay, one for
My vote is
oh yeah,
my,
Mike.
my vote
what
is
do
Van D will find the podium.
Oh my God.
That's what I
Here we
think
go.
too. I think
If it's
he'll
seventh or eighth.
honestly,
Mike's just got to have his wild pick. He just
It's
needs
not-
one pick to go right for him to look like a genius. And last year that was K-Sac
Wasn't it Evan
losing to
Frost?
Joey Blaze.
I mean, I also picked Wyatt once it got down to the finals.
Oh my gosh, this again.
Here we
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Just saying.
Cactus
Insanely
wrestling
lucky, those
savant
pairs.
Mike M.
Insanely lucky.
Well, either way, I think you're outnumbered, Van D. I think he'll score some NCAA points, but not as many as last year. The funny thing is, like, these guys can technically score more points with bonus points without actually getting the placement points. So it's kind
Yeah.
of funny how that works. But in any event, we're going placement for the most part. Same thing, same guy, Brock Hardy, second place. He's back. I think at very least this is a yellow. I think he's either finalist, and even if he took third, I think he's scoring similar amount of bonus points
Wait, so yeah, you guys don't
and
think it would
NCAA
be a
points.
yellow?
I think he's gonna take second again. I just don't see him beating Mendez another time, at least in the finals. And 41's kind of cleared. You got Bo Bartlett graduated, Cale Happel, Josh Coderhant. Um, a lot of good names graduated that were all Americans. So
Yeah.
I don't see him getting knocked off by Composto. No offense.
No, it's
Post.
definitely a yellow. I agree.
I would
Well,
say
it's like whoever Penn State's got as Bartlett's replacement, Ono or Marcus Blaze
yeah, that's
or
reasonable.
Braden Davis.
If it's or Nagao.
I mean, you got Luke Stanek in there, but
Well, if it's Nagao, I think Hardy's better than
and
Yeah,
Nagao.
but what
Nasir
about
Bailey.
Jacob Frost?
Nasir Bailey.
Go
Frost.
Frost, this guy. I don't know. I still see him as
Ryan
the top
Jack's
two
back.
guys. Ryan Jack is back. I
Ryan
don't
Jack's
think
beat
he-
him before.
Vance
Yeah.
Von Bauer.
I
What
don't
about
know.
Nasir? He's up at 41.
That's what I said. I just said Nasir, yeah.
Yeah, what about him?
What
I
ab-
think
yeah, what about him?
I'm saying yellow.
Yellow is fair. I think he's going to
So
take second.
yellow is remaining the same, basically.
Yes.
So I guess with Vandy, you guys don't think it's the same then?
Well, I think eighth.
I think no All-American.
Interesting.
He was kind of a surprise podium this year.
Interesting.
Was, but if you look at his losses, most of his losses were to All-Americans, so
That's fair.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, Hardy yellow for sure. I agree. I don't think Ono
could
could
win
beat
the whole
Hardy
thing.
though.
He could
That's a
win the
hot
whole
take.
thing.
I just
I'm not
don't-
counting him out.
I don't see it happening. I think that Jesse Mendez locks in really well. at the
Did
national
you
championship.
see Brock Hardy winning Big Tens?
No.
Touche.
Listen,
Fair. Yeah.
this guy gets ridiculed on the Ohio State Instagram, and ever since he's the biggest Jesse Mendez homer, more so than any Penn State guy you
The
could
best-
ever imagine.
The best part of that is that for weeks I picked Jesse Mendez, and they took the one clip where I'm like, it's tough to pick him this time.
Hey man, they're doing
And
their
then
due
they were like,
diligence.
yeah, this guy hates Jesse Mendez, and they put me on the freaking
Oh
Instagram.
Yeah, they did.
Um,
All right, this next one I think is obvious. In my
Green.
I think it is obvious as well.
Green.
Chance Lamer is
Right.
not going to win a national title at 149 this year.
What?
Sorry.
honestly, Lamer, like
More
I'll just
bonus
say
points.
now it's been kind of disappointing, honestly, in my opinion. I know the
I mean, this
injuries
is his
and
third
stuff,
school. That's the thing.
yeah, he's got injuries and stuff, but still haven't I've been a little bit disappointed with just
He's been
kind of
a round of 12 guy at Michigan, a round of 12 guy at Cal Poly, and then last year he went 1 and 2 at NCAAs.
yeah, he's had an injury stuff, but still it's frustrating.
I think he'll get a national qualifier, but All-American
yeah.
at this weight, I don't
It's
see it's
tough.
tough. Everyone's pretty much returning.
That's what I was gonna say. You only really graduate Ridge and D'Amelio, and then Sammy Alvarez too. Wait, isn't Alvarez trying to get like a medical red shirt?
Sammy Alvarez is at Iowa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
like,
gonna
isn't he?
say,
I was about to say he's, but it's not. I don't think he. I think he's trying to get a medical red shirt. I don't know if
Well,
he's.
I don't know what he's doing because Jordan Williams and Nasir are there. So where's he
Yeah.
going to go?
Yeah.
Who knows what he's doing? But I thought he was out of eligibility.
Yeah, but the thing is with even those guys, with not even those guys, you got guys like Echemendia, Styles, McNeil. I just
He's
don't
on his
see-
7th year, Alvarez.
Never graduate, baby.
I don't see him.
Yeah, Etchemendy is back.
McNeil too somehow.
Well, so Lamer was round of 24 last year. Do you think he makes jumps at least?
I
Mm,
mean, he did take round of 12 like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
back-to-back years.
So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't see, I just think it's a clear red, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just messed
but
up.
he's never been a Cornhusker.
Like,
True.
So
touche.
this next one, I don't think many people picked Antrell Taylor to be a national champion. Uh,
Yes. No one really picked him to win the title.
yeah. Is he the favorite? Mike, I want your opinion. We were talking about this past weekend.
Well, yeah, because okay, I think it's a little bizarre that everyone says that Antrell Taylor, the returning national champ, is not the favorite going into the next season without this current like next season having started. Like, I think Antrell Taylor has to be the favorite because he's the returning national champ. Like, what was the
Yeah.
what was the example that I used?
Vincenzo.
Oh yeah, what was by the using the logic that Kasak is the favorite because he beat the field, but he didn't win the national title, is the same as saying Marinelli would have been the favorite going in despite Vincenzo Joseph winning the national title. And then there was another example I gave. Oh shoot, what was it?
That's the only one I remember.
No, I gave.
I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, but I do see what you're saying.
No, there was another example that was better than Marinelli and Vincenzo, I think.
I like that one.
Well, yeah, it's a good example. But it's the same idea. Like, um, oh no, it was Sebastian Rivera beats
Ah,
uh, beats Spencer Lee in the Big Ten finals. Like, does that make him but then Spencer Lee wins the national title? Like, is Sebastian Rivera, would he have been the
Favorite? Yeah, no, that doesn't make
I
any sense.
think so
like
to
Spencer
counter,
Lee being the national champ?
No, it
Like,
doesn't make sense.
you're right. To counter that, I would say that if Spencer Lee dominated the entire year and then lost to Sebastian Rivera in the weird upset, not at the Big Tens, but at the Nationals, would you say that that Sebastian Rivera is the favorite to come back for next year? Or would you say it's Spencer Lee?
if he beat Spencer Lee at nationals,
Mhm.
well, if he beat him at nationals, he's not the returning national champ, so it's not the same.
Spencer Lee's body of work, though, before that.
Well, it doesn't matter the guy that won the national title.
I just
Wait, Mike Long, let me
you're
just
talking
ask you
about so
something.
a guy that let's just say, for argument's sake, snuck into the national as a national qualifier and was like the 33 seed. But then he wins nationals, even though he was just over a 500 wrestler. Would you say like, hey, he's the favorite?
Yes, because he
He's
won
the national
national.
champ.
I would have a
How
hard
can you
time
wait,
arguing that for
Mike Long?
anybody.
Who's your favorite to win 57 then? Please don't
TJ
tell me
Duke,
Zach.
TJ
Okay.
the
Duke.
guy that beat Antrell Taylor already,
He's not even, do we even know what weight he's going?
probably
Like,
57 because the
we
rumor
just
is he's already
speculate.
beating
Okay,
Kasak in the room.
we can't speculate this because there's no
All right,
like,
so if we're talking about current returners,
you better not say
how could I
Kazak.
not go with either Tyler Kasak or Joey Blaze?
Well, you should go
You're
with
you're
Blaze
going
over
with Joey
Kazak.
Blaze, huh?
I'm not going with him, but I would say Tyler Kasak.
I also find it kind of
Kazak? He
Guy-
choked against Blaze. How can you pick Kazak?
Because how could you not? He's got a good body of work. He's beaten Antrell Taylor twice in the season, including pinning him in
how
a
many national finals has he made? How does that make
And
him?
what happened against Blaze? That she should like.
people lose matches.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So
This is
newcomers at this weight class, Jackson Arrington and uh well not newcomer, but Daniel Cardenas is back for Stanford.
Also, I find it kind of funny that WrestleStat has Antrell Taylor ranked third behind Kasak and
yeah.
Shapiro.
It's just like it's ridiculous. I don't.
Shapiro, the guy took fifth in the same bracket. Guy that took third in the same bracket are both ranked
I think you'd have
higher than the guy that won it.
I look forward to comments on this. I really believe that most people will kind of side with me over you for this one.
No, I know.
How can they
100%.
side over-
Everyone's going to side with you and say I'm freaking crazy Penn State hater for saying that.
It
Nah,
doesn't make
there were
them
some
so-
people that were like the disrespect to Antrell Taylor is unreal.
Yeah,
But
but like
It's true, but I think that again, like
the guy got it done at the end of the day.
He did, but I think that's the
How does
likelihood
that
of that
not make him
happening
a
twice.
favorite?
So the question for this, the purposes of this video is, does he repeat as a champion? Because we're comparing NCAA points from last year, and being a champion is that extra 4 points that would be hard to replicate if you're not a champion. My take is I'm I'm just gonna say he's not gonna repeat. So I
Oh, if
would say
that's the
this is a
case, then yeah,
regression.
he's not going to repeat, in my opinion. No.
Mike, do you think he's gonna
Oh,
repeat?
oh.
Well, because you didn't say that before. If it were that were the case, of
I
course I'm going
said
to say
that
that.
I'm going to pick K-Sac or Blaze over Antrell Taylor. That's saying he's not going to repeat.
Okay.
I would pick three guys over him.
Who would you pick over him?
Me?
Reed?
PJ Duke, if he decides to go. Tyler K-Sac, Joey Blaze.
Two guys on
Those
the
two of those are Penn State though.
Joey Blaze.
I didn't say they weren't
You'd
Penn
pick
State
the
guys.
guy that lost in the national finals to him over him?
Okay. My
Joey Blaze, yeah,
rationale
he
is just
repeats.
more so just repeating a national title is insanely difficult in itself. So like
Yeah, it's true.
that's but the picking Joey Blaze and
Joey Blaze, who had already beaten him this season twice.
and what
I
happened
think
when
it was
it
just
counted?
once.
Oh yeah, Joey Blaze just beat him once. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, it was at Big Tens,
Nah,
and
yeah,
Trelly beat him earlier in the bracket.
yeah.
I do think it's hard to repeat.
Okay.
National titles, so
We are at the halfway point.
I
Mike,
think that
oh yeah, what was
he
your
could do it though. I think Trelly could repeat.
He could. He could. I'm just not I'm
Good.
not
I'm
confident to
not
pick it
confident in
again.
it.
that'd be cool if he did. It'd be sick.
If he did, he would instantly be respected for that because I agree, a lot of people don't give him the respect he deserves as a national champ, but you can't argue with a two-time national champ. That would be like, okay, it's lucky possibly to do it once. It's not going to happen twice. And if he does it twice, then the dude's legit. I'll give him his flowers.
Yeah, after the fact.
After he's won two national
I'm
one
man enough to admit when I'm
national.
wrong.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't
Okay.
happen much.
165. This is I think the first time I'm actually going to put a green. I
Yep.
think Christopher Minto is going to outplace himself. I think Caliendo is going to drop down to 57. The weight's going to clear out. Mitchell
Yep.
Messenbrink's going to repeat. Minto, I could see him sneaking into the finals. And at very worst, I mean, fourth, I think he could definitely repeat that. Some returners, Hunter Garvin, Bo
Wait.
Mantanona.
Slow down. You think that Christopher Minto can slip into the finals?
Yeah, I
100%.
mean, look at this field. Like,
Peyton Hall's out, and Caliendo, if he goes down, that just
Okay, we're
makes
assuming he's going down, but right now he's at 65. And if he's at 65, Minto's not making the finals.
yes.
That's just my like I
fair,
can't
fair, but I
But
think
still, third would
he's
still be better than fourth.
I think he's the clear number three because you got Hunter Garvin, Ryder Downey's apparently going up. Bo
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you
Mantanona,
guys know Ryder Downey's up at 65?
I do know, but Ryder Downey always underperforms at
No,
nationals.
I agree with you guys. I could definitely see top three, but slipping into the finals if Caliendo stays at 65, I can't see that.
If Caliendo's there, then he's taking third. But again,
Yeah.
third would still be an improvement over his fourth.
Yeah, you're right. No, for sure it's green. I just was how like certain is that with Caliendo? Does anyone know?
I think
Like,
it's in Iowa's best interest to do the Nebraska shifting
yeah.
down. I mean, ultimately, we thought Nebraska was crazy last year for dropping all their guys down, and look how unbelievable it
worked.
turned out for them.
We said
was-
that if it works, it's going to be brilliant. But if it doesn't work, it's going to be a disaster.
I mean,
But
they
it
had
worked.
It
finalists,
worked. It worked awesome.
4 in the top 4. Could have
Yeah.
had 9 All-Americans. Like
Yeah, Lenny Pinto just had to screw it up.
Harley Andrews really dropped the ball.
So I think at very worst, this is going to be a yellow, but I think,
Nah, it's green.
I would
agree.
lean toward green.
Definitely green.
which is funny because Minto wasn't even
No,
the guy until like a few weeks before Big Tens. This one, Mike, any input on 65?
Yeah, I think it's not unreasonable that Minto improves upon last season, especially with Caliendo dropping down. Like that would definitely,
174. And like, who's to say Minto like can't take out Caliendo? Crazier things have happened. Okay, 174. This one's going to be very interesting. LJ Araujo.
Uh, yeah, I don't.
I think he's gonna do better.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he's either gonna do better or it's gonna
Well, if
be the
he's going to do
same.
better, that means you think he's an All-American.
I do.
So that's
Yeah, I think
the
LJ's an
easy way
All-American
to
for sure.
put it.
So
That's a little bold. The AA, you think
U20
so?
world bronze medalist. U20 Pan Am champion bronze medalist.
You know
Hey,
what?
honor roll student.
You know what, Mike Long? I'm on board with you. I think he's gonna do better.
So the only reason I think this is because I sometimes like read the Husker like boards. Um, so LJ lost in the wrestle off 6-2 to Pinto. So obviously like Lenny Pinto did beat him for the wrestle off spot, but the rumor was that LJ had beaten him every other time, and the
Wow.
big part of why Lenny Pinto was transferring is because he was going to lose his spot.
Mm,
So that was the
Interesting.
rumor. And again,
Okay, yeah, then
when you look at like why is Lenny Pinto, who's had great success with Nebraska, going to in his last year to a school that is significantly worse?
Big fish in
yeah.
a little pond.
And not to say Rutgers is a bad program, but like when you just had the number two team in the nation and you have most of your guys returning, why wouldn't you why what's the logic behind saying like, oh, who's my training partners? The current number 7 and the current number 4? Like,
Sometimes you're a fat guy in a little coat.
so I think that, there has to be some truth to those rumors, I guess. And if that's the case at all, then I could see LJ definitely being an All-American. Um,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I do think it's better.
so he's green.
I I'm not I'm not there yet.
That's
I
okay.
don't think he's going to be around a 12 guy. This weight class returns pretty much everyone except for Dean Hamady, Levi
And Keegan,
Hain, Cam
or Keegan.
Steed, Pat
Yeah, but
Kennedy slash
are you considering that WrestleStat
Nate
has
Arnold.
Pinto ranked fourth?
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm just looking
Taking
at
that into
all Americans.
consideration?
Simon Ruiz, Matty Singleton, Danny Wasp. These
I
guys
mean,
are all back.
they graduate 3 All-Americans in Keegan, Hamady, and DeVos.
Yeah, DeVos is gone.
Carson Harkless
Hey,
back.
Harkshla is back.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't think I'm not ready to put this guy as an All-American. I think
I
maybe
would say
round
the
to
same
12.
as you could
I
say
mean,
the
I was
same as
surprised with Camden McDaniel, to be honest, but I would say slight red, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mike is going green.
I am.
Mike, what about you?
I would put him yellow.
Ugh, it's up to Eamon.
what if I go yellow?
Then it's
Then it's
yellow.
yellow.
All right, then it's yellow.
Wow.
It's it's
It's
tough.
funny.
It's tough,
Eamon was
Mike.
on board with Mike all the
Well,
time
no, it's tough
talking, and then
because
he lands on yellow.
well, like yeah, like we hear all those what you're saying about the wrestle offs and stuff like that, but like I mean that yeah.
I mean, almost 40% of the All-Americans graduated, but whatever.
Hey, there's
Boo.
still a true freshman that'll come out an All-American.
For sure. Like LJ.
Didn't LJ go like
He's
Can't
not
be
a
a
true
didn't
true
really
freshman.
wrestle that many
Oh, he was a
matches
true
is like
freshman.
I don't know, man.
Okay, 184. Silas Allred is back. He finally got the podium after being round of 12 for 2 seasons. Get his record 25-7, 26-8, 22-8. He's like the same guy every year, very consistent. At 184, the two big hammers are gone, Carter and Parker, but you're getting some new hammers in, Rocco Welsh and Angelo Ferrari. You
And
also have the
Mad
likes
Max.
of Max McAnally, Jackson Smith, Bennett Berge, Edmund Ruth, um,
Fishback Rider.
Zach Ryder, Fishback. I think this is another yellow. I think he just Salazar stays on the podium roughly around 7th or 8th.
You don't think he can slide up to like, fifth, sixth?
I just don't know if he can like. I
There's
feel like
a
he's
lot
just
of
like
guys
like a
graduating.
slight tier down from being the top guy. I don't think
Hmm.
he'll
Like he
beat
could
Angelo.
pull off a sixth place.
I don't think he'll beat Max.
That's the thing. He doesn't have to beat five guys ahead of him. The bracket can
Yeah.
Yeah,
happen
I
in
know, but
ways.
Yeah, with just the sheer amount of guys that are there is the issue too. Like,
he's lost to Jackson Smith several times. He's lost to Edmund Ruth. He's lost to McAnally.
But he won Big Tens at 197 2 years ago.
Yeah, he
I
did.
could see him doing better.
Oh,
Like I could see it
Let's see.
most likely fifth, sixth, but
Well, I was gonna say you got Max McAnally, Angelo Ferrari, Ryder, Zach Ryder, Rocco Welsh. That's four.
Jackson Smith.
Jackson Smith would be five. I kind of see him falling to the sixth place position.
What about Bennett Berge or Edmund Ruth?
Ruth,
I mean, Ruth kind of blows it at nationals,
yeah,
He
and
took
Berge.
seventh. He was around to 12
and that's worse than he did the previous year.
by one match.
I don't know. I disagree. I think he's relatively the same.
I mean, Berge was around to 24. Like, what kind of?
Yeah, but he was a All-American the year before.
Yeah, but guys can get better, guys can get worse, as we're clearly talking about. I think that
Yeah.
Silas Allred's in a good spot to get better. I think that AJ Ferrari's going to help that team a ton.
I knew
I
that
wonder
going
what
to
the
be
score was. I don't remember, but Allred pinned Berge, but it was at the 6 minute mark. I wonder what the score was before that.
I mean,
So, Eamon, you're saying yellow?
yeah.
I'm saying yellow. Mike is saying green. Mike, what about you?
oh, I said green.
So,
Wow.
green or yellow, flip a coin.
Down, 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 down.
Well, for the sake of it, I guess I can be persuaded to go green. We don't want to be like, oh, Nebraska's worst.
Pessimistic.
We want to be lifting it up. So
Yeah.
tiebreakers go for the good guys.
This is Husker Nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Husker Nation.
Okay, Camden McDaniel is back, presumably at 197.
Well.
He snuck onto the podium last year, surprisingly.
Yes.
Does he do it again?
I think that with Ferrari going up, Buchanan graduating, Cardenas graduating, I think that he could definitely make the podium again. I mean, just by process of elimination.
Yeah, but you're not adding in
He had
Rocky
14
Elam
losses last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rocky Elam,
is back.
All right,
Max
so
Stout, Stephen
three guys
Little.
leave. That puts him at best fifth.
Well,
Rocky
how do you
Elam
think
comes
Aiden
in, he
Sinclair
goes-
does?
Yeah, I was gonna
I have
say.
no idea because Aiden's taken weird losses.
Okay. How do you think Cody Merrill does?
Also taking weird losses.
I'm gonna be conservative here and say yellow.
So do you think Camden McDaniel can beat those three guys?
I think Elam's kind of over the hill.
What?
What? What makes you say that?
He's
done.
only ever All-American.
Yeah, but coming from a season-ending injury is not easy to come back from, and we've seen
That's
guys
true.
struggle from that.
But
And
he left Missouri, so now he's ready for victory
Iowa State.
at Iowa State. Exactly.
Oh, doesn't Iowa State have a history of injuries too?
yeah,
Yes.
just this whole season.
Yes. It's like half their team was injured.
I mean, look, 1, 2, 3.
What's going on in Iowa?
He's a
Why-
sixth-year senior. He just missed an
Too much
entire
corn in their
season
diet.
injury.
Corn.
I don't know how Elam does.
And this
frankly.
one's either worse or just the
I
same.
could see.
in my
I would say
opinion.
yellow. Let's just keep it yellow.
Yellow.
I would
That's
say
what-
yellow, too.
I think
Conservative
he
yellow.
could do better.
I just said that, and you were like, "What about all these three guys?"
No, I said, do you think he could beat these guys?
And I said probably Rocky Elam.
I wasn't saying that as a means to be
Mike
like,
loves to be the
damn.
devil's advocate and then go the other way.
Aiden Sinclair's winning it all.
No, he's definitely not.
Aiden
Whoa.
Sinclair.
Aiden Sinclair couldn't win a single finals match in the last few weeks of freestyle. He went like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, Aiden Sinclair, he could pin his way to the finals NCAAs and then Dayton fix it. So
Now, is there a world that AJ Ferrari is at 197?
I don't think. Yes, there is, but like, why would he? It just doesn't
Like,
make
who would
sense.
go heavyweight then? That's like,
Camden McDaniel.
No, played red shirt,
it just doesn't make any logical sense. I feel like for him to go 97.
dude. Let him cook.
He's
AJ Ferrari at
230.
285 is going to be wild.
He's
Let
Okay,
the
so
kid
we're
cook.
going yellow.
yeah.
I mean, he kind of spent this past year wrestling like a heavyweight anyway. So
Yes. He's good. He'll get a takedown. He'll ride. He'll get the escape.
Yeah, this one's obviously better though.
So this last one is like the biggest jump in like
Green. Greenest
by
green
far like
possible.
Yeah.
I want to make it a dark green because
Make
like
it purple.
make it
purple.
there we go.
Yeah, like make it like crazy.
No disrespect, Andrews. No disrespect.
I mean, a little bit. Like,
Well, no,
come
purple
on,
has
dude.
red in it. That's misleading. We want
I'm just still shocked that Ferrari went to Nebraska to me.
Good for AJ Ferrari, man. UNC was like, oh, we don't really know. Like, we kind of backed out of this deal and this whole thing. Here's a guy that's going to help kind of keep the program alive. And they go, oh, yeah, like, we don't want him. Despite all this, the deals and signing and everything. He goes, oh, where am I going to go? Just the number 2 team in America?
They embarrassed themselves
Friggin'
too.
idiots.
Yeah.
UNC embarrassed themselves because he not only transferred out, but he went to a bigger program.
Yeah,
He went to a
he went to
bigger and better.
bigger and better. He's in the Big Ten. It's going to be wild. We did a short on
Yeah.
it. I would say check it out if you want to know more. He's going heavyweight in a field that he's gonna, I assume, dominate.
Yeah. I mean, his toughest competition is what?
Younger.
Younger Bastida,
I
Isaac Trumbull, Nick Feldman, Nate Taylor, Ben Keeter,
What,
I
Mike? You
just
don't think
Tay
Younger can do that?
Gadiali.
I don't know. I've been saying Younger is not going to be the champ for I don't know 2 years now.
No.
I think
I didn't say
honestly, there's
I
a
said he was
chance.
going
Only
to be
had
the champ.
1 year at heavyweight, so
Well, this would two be year 2 that he missed.
well, yeah, last year he missed it and he would have been a heavyweight, but he missed
2
because of an
And
injury.
I think he might miss it again. Honestly, I think he might miss it again this year. Like,
Younger Bastida is going to be 26 like any day now. He is
and guess who won a fifth national title when they were pretty close to 26 years old. I'm just saying. After
Well, no.
a debilitating injury.
You're
well,
talking
now
about
he's being
Carter?
investigated.
Yeah.
So,
How old do you think Carter is right now?
25.
He's 24
Yeah, but he's
As
turning
of-
25 like any day now.
in February of next
Happy
year.
birthday.
Carter turned 24 this year. Younger is 2 years older than him, has yet to All-American at 285 after being there for 2 seasons, both of which ended in an injury.
You can't say for 2 seasons. Only one of them did he compete.
Younger's
That's
25.
not my fault.
But you're using it as like, oh, this is 2 years he did an All-American. He didn't even compete one of the 2 years.
So you think he's going to be so healthy that he couldn't miss an entire year?
That's like saying Luke Lildahl didn't win a national title his redshirt year. Like,
It's different
it's different.
ow!
It's just different, man. It's different.
because Younger he was practicing, he just wasn't competing.
Yeah, I think AJ is
Yeah,
definitely.
aka redshirting.
Mm.
Like,
Either way, this is a big increase, big boost for Nebraska at
Well, what about
heavyweight.
Feldman?
Also, he wrestled 2 matches, so
yeah, and got injured.
that's not again, but he towed the line and he missed it.
It wasn't
Let's settle the
two
beef in the
national
comments.
nationals.
He beat Ben Keeter and he beat Robert Platt. Like,
So overall, do you
The
think
number 2 returning guy from last season.
that Nebraska is better or worse than last year? That is the question.
Yeah,
Do you think they'll repeat as national runner-ups?
yes.
Really?
I think it's possible. I don't know if I would leap to say I think they will. I think it's possible that they could.
I think they have a chance because Oklahoma State, I don't see having 2 national champions like they did last year.
Why not?
Well, Wyatt's gone and Hamdi's gone.
Okay, but they could produce others.
Who do you think is going to win for Okie State next year?
This guy.
Let's see.
Spratley?
No.
No.
I mean,
Richie Figueroa? No.
Immediately
more than
no
likely
for
they
Figs.
repeat.
I don't think so. D Lockett? No. Cody Merrill? No.
Nope.
Zach Ryder? No. Magic Man's good, but he's got
Oh.
nothing on Harry Potter at the end of the day.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna pull it past him to say that he'll have 0 national champs.
Bold take right now. Put it in the books. Oklahoma State has 0 national champs for
I don't.
2026.
That's
That
not.
is a bold take.
I'm
That's a bold take.
I would agree though.
I disagree. I think they'll have at least one.
Who do you,
Wow.
At
who do you
least
think
I don't
will-
have a prediction of who that will be. I just think Oklahoma State will pull off a champ.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Taylor in the room, yeah.
Well, do you think Iowa is going to have a national champion?
No.
Do you think Iowa will outplace Nebraska?
Actually, wait. Iowa, maybe. If Caliendo's at 57.
They will have a national champ.
Caliendo's at 57, then yeah.
If Caliendo's at 57, then Iowa will. If he's not,
Well, actually, no, I don't agree with that either.
I don't think that's a foregone conclusion. 57
I
is
was
so
saying,
tough.
I don't agree with that either.
I think Caliendo.
I think Angelo Ferrari could win it,
I don't think he
Good.
will though. I think Max McAnally looks so good.
but he could.
He could. I'm not
No,
saying.
I think if
I'm just saying I
Caliendo
would
goes
pick Mac.
57, he's a clear favorite, in my opinion.
We
I
never
think
seen him
down
at
to
the weight.
57, he's going to be sucked out, and he's going to fall.
He's
to
big
either-
for 65.
Yeah,
Who were the top 5 last year for team
Yeah,
placements?
but weren't we saying
You
this?
and I?
Isn't it the same with
I got
Taylor going down to 57? Everyone thought, oh, he's
Iowa
going to be
took
sucked
Right.
out.
fourth.
Penn
Oklahoma-
State took first at 177 points. Nebraska second, 117. Okie State third, 102.5. Iowa fourth with 81, and Ohio State and Minnesota tied for fifth with 51.5.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the field, honestly, even though I feel like Nebraska downgraded, I think the field
Stayed the
I
same.
think
Yeah, if got
stayed the same. If got were, I think Nebraska does take second place next year.
I think we're going to see a very similar Penn State first, Nebraska second, Oklahoma State third, Iowa fourth. I think it's going to be pretty close to that again this next year.
Mm.
Could be any.
I think Iowa outplaces Oklahoma State, but
Wait, are you saying you don't think that NC State squeaks into the top 4?
They could be top 10.
no.
Weren't they top 10 this past year?
They were top 8
Yeah.
and 8.
Yeah.
They're gaining Ryan Jack back. That's an All-American.
Well,
Well,
You hope so.
he's got to do it. Yeah.
They have a returning national champ, a guy that is the highest returner in Trumbull.
You
at the
think
weight
Vincent
class.
Robinson's going to repeat?
No,
That's because Mike thinks Luke.
I'm a hater. I'm a hater.
I think
Instant
that
no.
Vince Robinson definitely could repeat.
So, you got
Instant no.
Kyrie graduates.
Okay, but he
Yeah, but
was
he
Ed
terrible.
Scott
went to last
graduates.
year. Yeah.
No, but they were still,
Singleton's back and he All-American.
I think Spratley
He's
wins
going to
it.
be back in the lineup.
What are we talking about here? NC State's not going to be nowhere near this team.
What about Cornell?
Cornell has a better chance than NC State, I think.
Spratley's winning 25.
Check. You didn't think NC State was going to have a single All-American last year,
And they proved me wrong.
and they took 8th in the country.
Wait, Mike, you didn't think so either.
8th is like, look,
I never agreed that they'd have 0.
No, you said that they weren't going to have an AA.
Oh, that was Jack.
No, that was me.
Okay.
That was me. I stand by
Okay.
that.
One of you said that.
Yeah, that was Jack. Repetitively said that they wouldn't
I
have a single
apologize.
one.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
that was me.
fairness,
I
the
would
top-
argue that these are the two clowns that picked freaking Joey Cruz over Vincent Robinson.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Here we go. And then by miracle, Joey Blaze beats Tyler Kasak, and you're a hero for the rest of the
Miracle.
time.
Look,
did
I,
not-
I think that taking 8th is
He
not
was
a
the only one in the world that picked that upset, except for Joey Blaze himself.
even friggin' Marcus Blaze was wearing a Penn State shirt. I don't know if you guys watched that at
Yeah.
Nationals last year. He was wearing a Penn State.
No, we were 2 rows
Yeah,
behind.
we were
him.
like 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you guys are right by the Blaze family. That's right.
Yeah.
But I think like to kind of poo-poo NC State, or not even NC State, but like Penn State, Nebraska, and Oklahoma State all scored over 100 points. Like it's a very heavy top 3. Iowa pretty close with 4th at 81, and then it's a big drop off. I mean,
Yeah, it's a huge
NC
drop-off.
State got 46.5 points. That's like
Yeah.
26% of what Penn
No.
State scored.
They're going to be
Add
nowhere
2
close.
All-Americans to them, and now they're fighting for Iowa.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't be so confident behind Jack. I don't know.
So that's our Nebraska team lineup preview. Let us know your comments down below. Do you think Nebraska is better or worse or the same from last year? Ultimately, even though you might see a lot of red on here, our consensus is that they're pretty much in the same spot. They're looking good, and I don't think they're going to threat Penn State next year. I think Penn State's going to kind of run away with it, that like they have the past decade, but they're going to be a close second. Well, not a close second, but like
They'll be second.
they'll be second. Yeah. So let us know your thoughts down below. Drop a comments, and thanks for watching Cactus Wrestling.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.